Hello, this is Mr. Surrender, the 8th grade math teacher on the Adams team. Here are 10 tips to help you help your child develop unrelenting persistence and ridiculous effort to make this the best school year of their lives so far. Tip number 1, focus on the positives and the opportunity instead of the negatives and what's out of your control. In case you haven't heard, this school year has started a little differently. You might be tempted to give your child a break, or worse, an excuse because of the circumstances. Hey, you have to learn over the computer or with a mask, so I have very low expectations for the education you receive. That gives them a loophole not to try. Every minute of every class is important. You might be tempted to vent to friends and family members about how remote learning or hybrid learning just isn't the same. But it's sort of out of our control. Instead, why not embrace the current reality? That's what so many of the students are doing already. I kid you not when I say these are things that students actually shared with me. I think remote learning is better than in-person learning because it's less stressful, not having a bunch of papers and sometimes losing them. Remote learning is better than in-person learning because it is very difficult to be late for class. Remote learning is better than in-person learning because it's easier to listen to the teacher while not everyone is talking. Remote learning is better than in-person learning because I get longer breaks. We have a choice. We can either gripe about how it's unfair or soak up every minute and try to improve. Either way, you're going to drain time and energy. We might as well get a positive outcome instead of a negative outcome. I think author Ryan Holiday summed it up best. It's not just, how can I think this is not so bad? No, it is how to will yourself to see that this must be good, an opportunity to gain a new foothold, move forward, or go in a better direction. Not be positive, but learn to be ceaselessly creative and opportunistic. Tip number 2 for the best school year of your child's life, careful how you comfort them. When they are frustrated, you might be tempted to say, I wasn't good at math either, it's okay. Stop. As soon as you say that, you're giving them an excuse. You can tell your child you struggled. Struggling is good. We're struggling to find a cure for COVID. We're struggling to stop wildfires. It's a reality. Math is going to be a struggle too. Our brains didn't evolve much in the decades since you were manipulating X and Y. Just make sure to tell your child that struggling isn't an excuse to stop. In fact, it's a reason to keep going. Solving easy problems has very little impact. It's solving the challenging ones that make a difference. Another tip for comforting your child is to confront your child for calling himself stupid or dumb. Everything we teach in school is designed to broaden what students don't already know. Your child is surrounded with ideas that are unfamiliar to them every day. It is supposed to be challenging. Remind your child of the things that they used to do that they were really bad at, like walking or talking, and how they eventually persisted and got good at them. One final suggestion for what not to do when comforting your child is to refrain from telling your child she is smart or intelligent or a genius or any of those synonyms. I know this sounds strange, but bear with me. As soon as you label your child smart, they're going to want to protect that image. That requires being right all the time. So when a student encounters a challenge, she will shy away from participating for fear of being wrong. When she sits out on challenges, she never pushes her brain to learn new things. Tip number 3 to help your child develop unrelenting persistence and ridiculous effort to make this the best school year of their lives so far, reward daily improvements, not end results. Continuing on that theme of what happens when a child wants to protect the identity of being smart, they are going to want good grades. Our society loves to equate the honor roll with my child is smart. Thus, if a student is not sure how to find the hypotenuse of a right triangle on a quiz, their decision is simple. Cheat. And while cheating will help their grade, it won't help them learn. Instead of calling them smart, substitute a compliment of the habit that helped your child reach success. Something like, I know when you made those flashcards that good things were eventually going to happen. Cheating only happens for one reason. Students are incentivized to do it. When you offer a briefcase of cash or a small island for an A, your intentions are well placed. You value education, and you want your child to value education too. The problem is their brain isn't in the same place as yours developmentally. Imagine a professional football team that decides not to give effort. They eat donuts before practice and spend most of the time in the film room on social media. By the time their record is 1-15, it's too late to ask the coach what they think they can do to best prepare for the Super Bowl. Being a student is no different. Every day matters. The day the term ends is a reflection of every day that came before it. Thus, as the person that takes care of your child and sees them just about as often as anyone in their lives, offer incentives for daily achievements. Encourage your child to write 3 to 5 things they want to accomplish at the close or start of each day. The more people your child shares these goals with, teachers, peers, family, the better. At the end of the day, review what things they did. Most importantly, with each goal, get your child to consider where and when they will accomplish these goals. The incentive for achievement might be that briefcase of cash, but more impactful on their development is praise. Gush to others about them in front of your child and about their habits specifically. Something like, she missed her first homework assignment in 3 weeks and felt awful about it, so she stayed after with her teacher. Tip number 4, take away the temptation to procrastinate. It is the anticipation of doing the math that is the worst part. The dread of doing the task uses up more time and energy than the task itself. Actually doing it, that's not so bad. We all know that having the television on in the background makes learning harder than it would be if it was not on. That does not make the decision to turn it off any easier though. Procrastination is a problem for everyone. Before starting the homework, it's tempting to do just a quick scan of Instagram and then TikTok, followed by a quick round of video games. Before you know it, 2 hours are gone. Energy and motivation are lower, and bedtime is around the corner. Habits are the only defense. As your child's greatest advocate, limit these distractions as much as possible. I know whenever I'm going through a rough patch with my diet, that not buying Reese's is going to make things a lot easier to not eat Reese's. Firmly tell your child that there is no Instagram until they are done with the homework. Literally take the phone and video game console from them to make resisting the temptation easier. You might have a massive argument. They might threaten to not take care of you in your advanced age. I apologize in advance for the tension, but I think the long-term payoff will outweigh the short-term storm. Perhaps setting a mini deadline of work until 4 p.m. and then allowing the video game will work. Or tip number 5 to help your child develop unrelenting persistence and ridiculous effort to make this the best school year of their lives so far, the Pomodoro. The Pomodoro technique got its name in the 1980s, but has probably been around for many more years before that. Here's the deal. You put a timer on for say 25 minutes or 20 or 15. Once the timer is on, your child is on the clock. No grabbing a snack in the kitchen, no sharpening a pencil, no going to the bathroom, no cell phone, don't pass go, don't collect $200. They are working. If anyone tries to interrupt them in the house, all your child needs to say is, I'm doing a Pomodoro. That's the cue to leave them alone and let them work. Oftentimes, when the timer goes off, the tendency people have is to keep working for a minute or two longer. Finish their thoughts. An added bonus of this strategy is learning to pace yourself and deal with testing environments. The idea of having a timer might appear stressful, but what researchers have found with this technique is that learning under the mild stress of a timer will enhance a student's ability to learn in even more stressful environments.